Hey guys, welcome back to Make Good Fashion. I am so glad you are here. We have another episode for our wholesale series, and I am so excited to get into this episode. I think the topic that we're going to talk about today is so needed, especially for you mission-based, purpose-driven brands who are looking to step into wholesale. And the topic I want to get into today is how to translate your brand mission when stepping into wholesale. I know a lot of brands, especially brands who value sustainability and things like that, kind of have some concerns when it comes to wholesale and how to maintain the integrity and the story around their brand when selling into retail stores. Because obviously, when you are selling online, you have the freedom to tell your brand story and to create this narrative and to bring people and invite people into what your brand stands for. And it's easy to do because you can do so visually. You can do so through the copy on your website, through the stories you tell on your socials and all of that. But when you sell your brand into a retail store and it's sitting on a rack just like all the other brands, it can kind of be challenging to translate that mission. But I'm going to share some ways that you can do so effectively and just share about some other brands that are doing this and how they have translated their brand mission to give you some idea of how you can do this effectively. So, when we talk about brand mission, we talk about this is the core of your brand. It's why you do what you do, it's your purpose for your brand. And if we think about this in like a real life example, we think about a brand like Tom Shoes, right? So Tom Shoes is a mission based brand. And if you never heard of Tom Shoes, their whole mission is a buy one give one mission, which means when you buy a pair of Tom Shoes, they give another pair to someone in need, right? And I actually know this to be true. I know that they actually stand by what they say they stand by because I once went on a mission trip to go serve in Haiti, and I remember all the kids in Haiti were wearing Tom shoes, and it made me so happy because, a lot of times we hear brands saying that they are doing all these initiatives and they're giving back and all of that, but we don't really see the fruit of that. And so to be able to see that these kids actually were beneficiaries to what Tom's Shoes customers were buying into was really encouraging to me, and I loved it so much. And so I want you to think about that. Like, what is your brand mission? And I'm sure you have that down if you've started your brand, but if you are just thinking about building a brand, what is that going to look like for you? And so the buy one, give one model is what Tom's does. And so when we think about Tom's and you see Tom's in a store, when you see their box and their packaging, they have, the branding talks about what they do, and they have tags that talks about what they do and all of that. So they incorporate it like that. And so I'm going to go through and run through different ways. I'm first going to start off by saying it has a lot to do with choosing the right retail partners. Now, every partnership is not a good partnership, and you don't have to agree to sell to every store. You, as a brand, have the power to deny certain stores from selling your brand or pursue certain stores that you want selling your brand. And this is so important because obviously you want to be aligned with stores that value the things that you value, right? You don't want to be in a store that goes against everything that you believe in. And so the ways that you can kind of do this and vet the stores that you're either pursuing or that you want to sell to or who are reaching out to you is to one, do an in-person visit if possible and just see how the store is. Like what other brands are they selling? What does it seem like they're valuing the store? But even if you can't do a store visit, you can also just go visit their website and you can read. I think the website usually provides even more information because you can see what like their store values are, what their store ethos is, what they actually believe in. If you're a sustainable brand, you can see, does this store value sustainability? Are they carrying other eco-friendly brands in their store? So those are some things that you can look out for. Another way that you can make sure that you are translating your brand mission when working with retail partners is communicating your brand mission to them. So the way that you can do this is, when you are presenting your collection or when you are selling your brand, communicating the value and the special, features of your product that speak to your brand mission. And so if you are using sustainable fabrications, communicating that. If your brand's value is eliminating waste, communicate that, right? If you are giving back, you want to make all these things clear. And if you are working with a showroom who is representing your brand and selling your brand, you want to make sure to properly train the sales team in the showroom on these things and how to sell your brand by putting the mission forward. Another thing you can do is offer training to the employees of your retailers. And you can do this in an efficient way where you don't have to travel to all the retail stores to train the employees in person, but maybe you want to put together a training video. And if you're thinking this may feel a little invasive, like, are retail stores going to want to train their staff to sell my product and all of that? I will tell you that some of the bigger department store may not be able to do that just because they're carrying so many brands. But with boutique shops and smaller stores, you could even record a video and have it sent to them to train their employees. And you'd be surprised, these stores want to be able to make money. They want to be able to sell your collection and they want your things to fly off the racks. So they are going to be open to anything that you will offer them to help them to sell your brand better. So if you put together a training that's going to help talk about all the benefits of your brand, talk about your mission and all of those things that are great selling points, they're going to be happy to look at that because they want to be able to make sales. So don't be afraid to make a training video that highlights your brand mission. You can also provide marketing materials to your retailer. So whether that be postcards or brochures or things like that, that talk about your brand and educates the customer as well as the sales staff is totally helpful. And you can include this in the shipments of your wholesale orders. So that is another way. You can also translate your mission through the way you present your collection. So this includes like your packaging, displays, little trim, and things like that. So I want to show you guys an example. Hold on really quick. Let me go get it. So I have a hang tag here from Grace Made. Now, customers are not going to always know this, but I know this because I designed these, but the paper is made out of recycled paper. And so, again, if one of your values are eco-friendly, sustainability, all those things, then that is something you can do. Another thing about this is that when your brand is in retail stores, you can't guarantee that, again, the sales staff is going to communicate all the details of your product. And it's going to be hard to just glance at a dress and say, like, oh, that dress has a sustainable fabrication, or that dress is made out of organic cotton. And so on our hang tags here, on the second layer, you can see it says organic cotton, and so we have this for every fabric that we use, and so every hang tag that we use is different according to the fabrications used on our garments. And again, this is just to communicate what type of fabrication, so that when a customer picks up our garments on a rack, even if it's at a retail store where we cannot be there personally, they will be able to identify what the fabrication is. In addition to that, when you open it up, it says all the benefits about organic cotton on the second half of the label. And if you are listening to the podcast, I'm just now realizing that you probably can't see this, but head over to YouTube so you can see a description of what I'm speaking about. And our YouTube channel is just under Make Good Fashion. And so it talks about how organic cotton is good for an environment, and it not only does it not have chemicals and things like that, but it's also healthy for the farm workers because they're not spraying the cotton with all those chemicals. And then also on the backside, another one of the values for this brand is that we just value women and we want to empower women and encourage them. And so on this side, it has this line where you can put someone's name in it. And then it also just says really affirming words that say, like, sorry, you probably can't see this. You are beautiful, you are worthy, you are lovely, all of these things. And so little details like that go a long way. And so you can present your line by, putting the details or writing your brand story on your hang tags or leaving little messages on the care labels. I've been seeing that a lot lately, which I think is really cute. Or if you have a packaged good like shoes on the shoe box, just really, you know, really articulating that mission. Or if you have a purse brand and you have a dust bag, maybe even writing a little message about your brand mission on the dust bag. So there's different ways that you can communicate this in your product. And so you just want to get creative and think about how you can effectively articulate your brand mission somewhere on the actual garment so that as it is sitting in retail stores, shoppers can just look at the piece and learn more about it and just fall in love with your mission. And lastly, you want to keep strong relationship with your retail partners, not only to get feedback, because of course we talked about, you want to be in constant communication for feedback, how the line is doing, but you also want to see if customers are receptive to the way that you have communicated your brand mission. So you can see if you need to go back to the drawing board and communicate it in a different way. And you can see how people are reacting, if they do love it, what they're saying about it, and all of that. And then you also want to articulate any new features that your product have as you continue to develop your product and grow your brand. If there's any new features or new initiatives that you as a brand are involved in, you always want to keep your retail partners, your retail buyers in the loop of what is going on so that they will be able to continue to communicate that to the customers that come into the store. Now, when we think about more real life examples, there's like Patagonia. And Patagonia, if you guys are familiar with, is a sustainable brand that they kind of specialize in outdoor wear. And one thing that they do is that they only partner with retail stores that value sustainability. So you will not see Patagonia in stores that are not aligned with their mission of creating a more sustainable world. And also, they provide extensive training for retail stores to make sure that they are clearly articulating all the benefits and details and the mission and what the brand stands for, because they are rooted in such mission. And so they're really investing to make sure that retail stores know how to carry their product. I think another little bonus tip that I've seen done too is where brands will gift the retail employees and staff pieces of their product, right? I've seen once where there was a brand called Backbeat Co. And I remember that they would actually do custom jackets. So they had a signature jacket, but they would customize it for retail staff by embroidering the retail staff's name into the jackets. And you may be wondering, well, what does that have to do with mission? Well, I think when you are doing things like that and not only training retail staff on how to sell your products, but also gifting them pieces, they are more prone to want to talk about your brand, right? Because they get to try on your brand firsthand and see how incredible your brand is, but also they are in so much gratitude that you would even gift them a piece that they're more prone to speaking about how much they love the brand and all the amazing benefits and features and the mission that the brand stands for. So that's a little tip for you. Obviously, you won't be able to do this for all your retail partners, especially if you are selling to hundreds of doors. But even if you start off with a small number of boutiques, this is something that you can do and a way that you can just bring these retail stores and their staff into your brand story. So I hope that was helpful to you. And I hope that this just gave you some new ways and ideas of how you can translate your brand mission and articulate your brand mission as you step into wholesale and as you form these retail partnerships. If this was helpful to you, please like. And if you are not subscribed to the podcast yet, please subscribe and please leave a 5-star review. I will see you guys next time on another episode of Make Good Fashion. See you guys. Hey friend, have you been curious about wholesaling your fashion brand? Well, I have some exciting news for you. We have an upcoming workshop called Unlocking Retail Success: 3 strategies for getting your fashion brand into retail stores. And it's just around the corner. In this exclusive workshop, we're diving deep into the strategies that will help you secure your brand spot on retail shelves. Whether you're just starting out or looking to expand your reach, these proven tactics will pave the way for your success. Join us as we uncover the secrets to navigating the competitive world of retail, from building lasting partnerships to maximizing your brand's visibility. You'll walk away with actionable insights that you can implement right away. So don't miss out on this invaluable opportunity to unlock the doors to retail success. Reserve your spot now at makegoodfashion.com/wholesale or check the description for the link. Trust me, friend, you are not going to want to miss this.